Good morning, friends. We have completed 4 modules. The first module, water demands, factors affecting per capita demand, design period, factors affecting design period. Good morning, friends. We have till now completed 4 modules. So you can see here all the things in module 1, starting from water demands to population forecasting methods. Module 2 complete about water quality, and then module 3 and 4 water treatment units, starting from sedimentation to disinfection, and miscellaneous water treatment methods like water softening, fluoridation, defluoridation, and membrane filtration. 4 types of membrane filtration. So those are all things in the third and fourth module. So now the last module, you have many things to study. Now let's first start with the distribution system. Now first thing is, what are the requirements of a good distribution system? For the proper functioning of a distribution system, it needs to have certain requirements. Now first one is, it should be capable of supplying water at all the places within the city with a reasonable and sufficient pressure head. So good amount of pressure should be available at all the points in the entire city. That is the first requirement. So pressure should be maintained, and it should be capable of supplying the required amount of water for firefighting also in case of such type of emergencies. So good amount of water, sufficient amount of water should be available for firefighting also, and it should be cheap with the least capital construction cost. And the economy and the cost of installing the distribution system is a very important factor, because almost 70% of the total cost of the water supply system is based on, or it is required for distribution system only. So therefore, if the distribution system is economical or cheap, so the overall cost of the water supply project will be less. Now next is, it should be simple and easy to operate and repair, thereby keeping the running, maintenance and operating cost and troubles to the minimum, right? So for running, for maintaining, for operating the distribution system, it should not be very difficult, that it should be simple and it should be easy to operate, and any repairs required should be done without any problem, right? So that this all is going to help in keeping the running, maintenance and operating cost to the minimum. And another thing is, it should be safe against any future pollution of the water. Now this is a very important requirement. The water treatment plant which you are using for purifying the water, there also you are spending a lot of money in the treatment of water, and if it does not reach the consumer with the same level of purity, then all the effort made in the treatment will be waste, right? So you have to see that the good quality water which is available after treatment, the same degree of purity without any further pollution, should reach even the last point of the distribution system. And the water supply pipes should be far away from the drainage lines, so that there is no cross connection or there is no leakage, right? And also the overall improvement in the general sanitary conditions of the area through which the distribution pipe is going to pass. So in the area where the pipeline is laid, their general sanitary conditions should be maintained, right? Clean and hygienic. And next is, it should be safe and not to cause any failure of the pipelines by bursting. So pipe should not get bursted, right? This is should be safe. Material used should be proper. Good quality material should be used, so that there is no bursting of the pipes. And another important is, the pipe should be watertight, so that losses due to leakages is minimum, right? It should be fairly watertight to keep the losses due to leakage to the minimum, right? Now there is another topic. What are the different types of layouts of the distribution network, right? Layouts of the distribution network means the pipelines which are laid for supplying the water. What are the different types of layouts? Now generally the layout of the distribution system is exactly like the layout of the roads. because these are pipes which are laid below the road pavements. Therefore, the layouts are generally follow the layouts of the roads. There are four different types of pipe network layouts, and either they can be used alone or single. One type of layout can be used, or depending upon the local condition and the orientation of the roads, right? Depending upon the local condition and the orientation of the road, combination can also be used. So there are four: dead end system, grid iron system, ring system, and radial system. The first one we'll see. Dead end system is also called as a tree system, and here there is one main pipe. You can see here, this is the main pipe. From there the sub mains are going to originate, usually at right angles. It is not compulsory, but generally at right angles the sub mains are going to be laid, and then from the sub mains there are some branches which are coming out. These are also called as the laterals. Branches are also called as laterals, and from these laterals the service connections are given to the consumer, right? At the end of these branches or laterals, you will have the pipe service connection, which people are going to collect water from those points, right? Now a typical plan of such a layout you can see here. This is a complete picture. So this is the main pipe, these are the sub mains which are originating from the main pipe, and from the sub mains there are branches, right? Now this type of layout is adopted for older towns which have developed in a haphazard manner without properly planned roads. So you can see here there is no proper planning anywhere, just simply the pipes are laid as and when required, and as and when the area develops, you go on laying the pipes. So this is a haphazard growth, and that is the reason why it is like a branching like a tree. Therefore, it is called as a tree system, the tree type of a layout. The water mains have taken along the main road, and then the branches take off whenever required. Therefore, you can see here a lot of dead ends. You can see here a lot of dead ends are formed, and there is no interconnection between the pipes. So these are all dead ends. So because of this, this is also called as a dead end system, and this is suitable for localities which expand irregularly and where the water pipes have to be laid at random due to the absence of any planned full-fledged road network, right? So city does not have a planned full-fledged road network, so therefore you have got this kind of a system. It has some advantages. The distribution network can be solved easily, and it is possible to calculate accurately the discharges, the pressures at different points in the system. That is mainly because there are no interconnected pipes. So you can easily calculate how much pressure is available at one particular point, how much discharge is available at one particular point, right? So very simple, you can solve the network. And less number of cutoff walls are required. The reason again is there is no interconnection. So there is one cutoff wall in this pipe. You can see this is one cutoff wall, this is another cutoff wall here, and then there is another cutoff wall here. These are all cutoff walls here, right? In the whole area you will not see any other cutoff walls, so only one. So compared to all other networks, this system is having less number of cutoff walls, and therefore the overall cost is going to be less. So these cutoff walls are also called as sluice walls here. Pipe lengths are shorter. Laying of the pipe is very easy compared to other methods. It is very cheap and simple and can be extended and expanded whenever required very easily, right? So there is no problem in extending the pipes as and when required. It is simple. So disadvantage in this case is this method water can reach a particular point only through one route, right? You can see in the figure, if you are supplying water to this area, it has to come only from this route only, from here, right? If any repair work is going on here, or any damage to the pipe, if you shut off this cutoff wall, then the area is not going to get any water. So people will be put under inconvenience. So there is no other pipeline which is going to bring water from some other route, right? That is the major disadvantage with the dead end system. So this is a inconvenience to the consumer. And because there are so many number of dead ends in the system, there is no free circulation of the water. There is no free circulation of water here, you can see. and this water is going to remain stagnant at the dead ends, and therefore there is a degradation in the quality. Water quality may degrade because it is remaining stagnant. There is no free movement of the water. So this water becomes stale. So therefore you have to remove periodically from these dead ends. This stale water has to be removed, and for that again you require what is called as these cover walls. Right? You can see here this is what is called as this cover walls. So these cover walls are required at all the dead ends to remove the stagnant water, right? And then you are flushing out that stagnant water. That again is a loss of treated water, right? So all these are disadvantages. And the in case of any fire occurs, and if you want to use more amount of water, you cannot get, because there is no interconnected pipe. So if you are in that area where the fire has occurred, very less amount of water will be available in the pipe. You cannot divert water from all other surrounding areas because there is no interconnected. So this can become a serious handicap in case of such accidents. Now there is another system called as the gridiron system. This is also called as interlaced or reticulation system. And here the main, submain and the branches, they are all interconnected with each other. Therefore it is called as the interlaced system. So in well-planned towns and cities, gridiron pattern is very popularly used. You can also convert the dead-end system into gridiron system by interconnecting all the pipes, right? But anyway, in places where proper roads in the form of a grid, regular roads are there, then you can use this method. So you can see here there is the main pipe in the center here, and then from there the sub-mains are originating, and from the sub-mains these are the laterals which are. So it looks a very neat and nice grid-like. So therefore the gridiron. And you can see here, there's all the pipes are interconnected, and there are so many number of walls here. You can see here so many number of walls. These are all the walls. 3 here, 2 here, another 3 here. So these are all the position of the walls. So with the gridiron system can be applied in areas which have proper planned roads. The advantages is as the water is going to reach at different places through more than one road or one route, the discharge to be calculated by each pipe will be less, the friction loss will be less, and the size of the pipes are also reduced. Right? This overall will reduce the cost. And in case of any damage, and if you are doing some repair, a very small area will be completely devoid of the supply, or you will stop the supply only to a small area, and the remaining area you can easily do the repairs. Now suppose some repair work is going on here, you can shut off the cutoff walls here and then allow the water to go from this direction from here, right? Only a small area gets affected, especially when the repair works are going on, so that you can allow the water to reach from some other route. So people will be not put under any inconvenience. Now because of the different interconnections, the dead ends are completely eliminated. Therefore water is it's not going to remain stagnant. There is a continuous circulation of the water. So pollution due to stagnation, which is found in dead end system, is not found here. And any fire occurs in that area, you can divert lot of water from all the nearby pipes because they are all interconnected. You can close all the cutoff walls which is carrying water to different areas and divert all the water to the area where the fire has occurred. So by manipulating the various cutoff walls, you can divert all the water to the required direction. You can get more quantity of water. So disadvantages is requires more length of the pipeline and large number of cutoff walls. So you have seen here there are so many number of cutoff walls. So this increases the cost of the walls. Construction overall is going to become costlier. The design is difficult and costlier because of the interconnections. Calculation for determining the size of the pipes, the pressure at the important points, this is all very tedious job. Earlier days manual calculation was done, so it was more difficult. Nowadays, because we are having computers, we can calculate more faster and more easier nowadays. So this is a disadvantage which nowadays may not be considered as important, right? So the other two methods we will see in the next video.